right, I got a pretty good little harvest that I've been gathering all week. Basically, all my tomatoes, I'm going to stew those up in my dish. And I'm going to use some of the peppers, some I'm going to use for salsa, save for later, but I'm going to use a lot of the green onions. And this dish calls for a lot of oregano. So I'm going to use Mexican oregano and Cuban oregano and a lot of garlic. So I got to get my garlic out. And I'm also going to use a lot of green peppers in this dish, along with the tomato. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna get everything out the way, get everything cleaned up, chopped up, and start cubing up my rabbit that I got thawing out right now. And I'll pick it back up when I get the Hossam pepper out. All right, what I got here is a melody of peppers, onions, tomato that I'm gonna use for the stew, and I'm gonna get this browned up, cooked, and I'm gonna put this in the processor. And I'm about to add garlic right here. That's what I'm missing. So I'm gonna let this cook down real good. Then I'm gonna add a little bit of water and get it processed and liquefied. And that's gonna be the base to my Greek style stew for my rabbit. Okay, so we'll pick that back up. All right, it's time to start seasoning my rabbit here. I got it all cubed up. I got it rinsed off really good. I still haven't cut up my herbs here, but I'm gonna go ahead and hit it with a little bit of Cavender's seasoning, some Berber, African Moroccan spice. Very good. And of course, we're going to hit it with a little bit of thyme. Always one of my favorite seasonings. And even though we got garlic in my sauce, I'm going to hit it with a little bit of garlic. Okay. And smoked paprika. Always use smoked paprika. That's all I use. Very generously. And for salt, I'm using adobo. This is a lot of salt. So we're gonna get this seasoned up, and we're also gonna add some bouillon when we get our stew going, but that's gonna be later on. Okay, my base is cooking down really good, and it's about time to add some water and let it cook down just a little bit more. And I'm gonna let this stew up a little bit, let it soften up a little bit, get all that goodness off the bottom. And then what I'm gonna do, cook it down for about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna let it cool down, and I'm gonna get it in my processor and liquefy it, and that's gonna be the base to my stew. And we'll pick that back up. All right, we're about to get everything processed. It's still a little steamy, but we're okay. So I'm gonna get this in here processed, and then we're gonna get it into the crock pot. We're gonna cook it overnight, set it and forget it. Once I get it brown real good in the skillet, and we'll pick that back up when I do that. Gonna be hands on. I don't want to make a mess here, so let me take care of this, and we'll pick this back up. Okay, we got our rabbit browned perfectly, so I'm about to get this out of here and put it into the crock pot, and then add my sauce. And what I'm going to do is add some water in here, stir it up, and then transfer this water into the crock pot as well. Get all that goodness off the bottom. So we'll pick that back up. Okay, I got my rabbit inside the crock pot. It's nice and brown. I just set it for 9 hours. It's going to be 8 o'clock right now, so it'll probably be ready about, I say about maybe 3 or 4. I'll be up about 4 in the morning. I got my green onions, my Mexican oregano, my Cuban oregano, and more tomatoes cut up here. I got my sauce right here. I'm about to put that in there now. Here we go. Okay, and I'm about to add some water. And the water that I have is in the crock pot where I cook the rabbit. I use it to get up all that goodness off the bottom. And I'm fixing to put that in there. Probably about a little bit more water. I'll check it out and put all these herbs in there. Set it and forget it. And we'll pick it back up in the morning. Okay, here we go with the juice. Yeah, I got all that goodness off the bottom. Okay, I got everything set up inside here. It's ready to go. I added all my spices. I might come in the morning and add some potatoes and carrots, but I might just leave it the way it is. The dish doesn't count for it, but it's okay. If I want to add it, I add it. But I almost forgot one of the main ingredients, chicken bouillon. Okay, a little bit of this, maybe a couple of spoonfuls. and then the tomato bouillon. And this will make up for the salt that I think it needed, but I could always add more later. So we'll just leave it like that, let that cook down. If I gotta add more seasonings as it's cooking, I will. I don't want to over salt nothing. Right now it tastes pretty good. It's real flavorful with all the herbs, but once it cooks down, it'll change. It'll change. The flavor will continue to change as it cooks. So we'll see how it is later, and we'll pick it back up. But I think it's gonna be perfect right there. All right. Y'all have a good night. We'll pick it back up in the morning. Okay, it's about 8 o'clock in the morning, and it is doing spectacular. The smell is really good. Okay, it's around midnight. I added some carrots and some potatoes. Went ahead and did that. I had a lot of extra room in there, but it's smelling really good. The meat's about to fall off the bones. It's nice and tender and real flavorful. Got my condiments cut up right here. I got my plate ready to go, and let's see what's on the stove here. Okay, I got my brown rice cooking down right now. It should be ready in about 5 minutes. And I got my Middle Eastern flatbread right here. And I'm going to get this in the oven for about 5 minutes. And I think we're good to go. Pick that back up. All right. Plated. I'm fixing to have me breakfast. The total time cooking must have been about 9 hours. Real slow on low. And halfway through, I put the potatoes and the carrots, and they're just right. And when I woke up this morning, it was on warm. So it pretty much started around 8 at night and finished around 3 in the morning. And at midnight, I put the carrots and the potatoes. So all I had to do was cook up my rice, heat up my flatbread, and I'm ready to go to town.